Hi, I'm the creator of the Toby Foliage engine, and today we are going to quickly cover setting up the shaders and materials with other assets. So, I have a new project here, and I'm using Hazy Hills by Hybris Factory. Very wonderful asset pack with incredible quality. So, let's just change the shaders now. Switching to the Toby Foliage engine is as easy as changing the shaders, as the settings are established to work by default. Okay, after doing that, all we have to do is reapply the missing textures. You can also apply a grayscale noise map as a season mask on the leaves. Simply search for generic leaf grunge and you can find it. Changing a couple more settings here. Also, deactivate the light detect backface, as this feature is no longer needed in HDRP and will produce weird results. This should only be used in built-in and URP. Use the diffusion profile in HDRP to light the backface instead. Alright, now you can see that the wind is already working, but it's doing this weird back and forth motion. That's because if you notice on the right side of the inspector, the wind noise map is missing. Select the texture and in the search menu, search for generic noise. Now it's already working as intended. As you can see, the noise vectors are affecting the grass now. You can also add additional flutter noise by activating quad scatter. This option makes grass cards behave as if they have multiple pivot points. Unfortunately, on these models, it seems to cause some weird wobbling effect, so it's better to just keep the regular flutter on this one. Great, we have working grass now. Next, let's move to the trees and bushes. Now select one of your bushes and change the shader to tree foliage instead. Plants like bushes and ferns will require more complex bending, therefore this shader should be used instead. Like before, reassign the textures and adjust your settings accordingly. And remember to readjust your dry leaf color in the season settings. If you have vertex color red, you can use this in your season control. Just toggle this option on. Tree leaves require vertex color green to have flutter. You can check if your model has vertex colors by toggling the debug option. Fortunately, these models already have the right vertex colors applied. If they don't have the correct vertex color green or it's on another channel, then you can toggle the switch vertex green to RGBA instead. That should use all channels available. Now you can already see something happening and there's some slight branch bending going on. Move the sliders to increase the effect. Increase the flutter intensity, and it seems a little bit too intense. Let's bring it down. And look at that, impressive. Without Pivot Painter, this would have been impossible. If you desire a more uniform wind interaction on ferns, turn off the mask root feature. It's recommended to be turned off on plants that have leaves touching the ground because the vertices of the leaves will stay stuck to the ground. Also, when you create your model in your 3D application, make sure that the leaves don't touch the ground or have this feature turned off in Unity. Now to change the trees. Two different shaders are required for trees. Apply tree bark to the trunk and tree foliage to the leaves. Reapply all the textures as before and mess with the settings. The simple pivot sway toggle should be checked on all tall cylindrical trees, as the bark might wobble weirdly. The default settings are designed for different shapes of trees, like broccoli trees, bushes, or irregular shapes. You should increase the branch bending in the wind settings if you want the effect to be more noticeable. Be careful with these settings. In some cases, you only need small values. One final adjustment we need to make is to the trunk. Use the debug mask settings and adjust your mask according to your preferences. Thin trees should sway more while thick barks should be stiffer. When setting up your materials for trees, make sure both bark and leaf materials share the exact same settings, including the wind mask. And we reached the end of the video, and I hope this was helpful. Enjoy creating with the Toby Foliage engine. See you next time.